Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently rocking. That is the Chanel medium large and the black caviar leather with the silver hardware. Alright, so let's get this show on the road. With the very first question from Diana M. Do I think that Alma PMs in general do not hold their value? Or is it just the vernis that doesn't? When you sold yours, you said that you lost money. I have the Alma on my wish list and I'm considering buying it in black epi. Does epi hold its value? These are great questions. Okay, so let's start off with the first one. Do I think that Alma PMs in general do not hold their value? It's funny because when it comes to Almas, between the canvas, the vernis, and the epi, out of the three, the canvas version is the one that ends up holding its resale value the best. Especially when you look at the retail price and then the pre-loved price, they're very close. And out of the three, vernis is the one that doesn't hold its resale value at all. And again, kind of like when you look on the retail side of a vernis Alma, they retail for $23.50, I think. And on the pre-loved market, you can find them for $1,100, $1,000, $1,200. That's a huge savings. That's a big difference between buying retail and buying pre-owned. Of course, it also depends on the type of wear that it has. Some of the pre-owned ones might end up having a little bit more color transfer or just wear in general. But there are some that are in immaculate condition and still have a very good savings. Now, but when it comes to epi, I think that the black epi holds its resale value very well because it is a neutral color. And kind of like with the canvas ones, I think that's the reason why they end up holding their resale value so well, because it's very easy for people to incorporate those colors, the brown and the black, into their handbag collection versus going for a colored handbag. And I think that's probably why I'm so apprehensive to add another colored bag to my collection, just because of, I didn't have the best experience with when I sold my Almas, even though I did have a black vernis one. I think that because you end up seeing your fingerprints so much more on on the black vernis, or the fact that it had the gunmetal hardware, maybe it's a little bit more prone to chipping versus going for the silver or the brass. So there's a lot of things that kind of went into why I feel that it ended up not having the best resale value. But again, like I said before, when it comes to colored bags, I think that you have to find the right buyer for it, and it has to be someone that wants to get a blue bag, a pink bag, or a red bag, whereas the black and the browns can just be incorporated very easily. So, I think it would go in this particular order. Canvas hold its resale value the best, then epi, it would have to be a neutral, and I know red is a neutral, but still not everyone wants a red handbag. And then it's the vernis. And it's such a shame too, because I've said this before, I think that the colors that vernis has for Louis Vuitton, they are exquisite, they are beautiful, they just have such vibrant colors, and they don't hold their resale value at all, and it's crazy to me, especially when you think of the comparison between a canvas bag and an all leather bag. But again, there's a lot of things that go into it. Some people don't want to have to deal with vernis. It's not as delicate as it is, but you have to be a little bit, it's not fussy. You have to be a little bit careful because it's a little bit more prone to color transfer because of that clear coat that it has. So, I would say that I would go for the black epi, that ends up holding its resale value a little bit better. But when you get into the colored ones, that's where it gets tricky. But Canvas ends up ruling out of the three, these three particular leathers for the Alma. So hopefully that was able to help. All right, next question from Seahawks #1 fan. I'm looking for travel pouches for vacations. I can't decide which style I want. It's between the Toiletry or the vintage Truce ones. Which one do you prefer and why? Okay, so I'm not sure which Toiletry you are referring to. So just in case, I brought out the Louis Vuitton Pochette Voyage. This is the only reason I brought this out is because this is the same exact size as a Toiletry 26, just to give you guys a comparison. And I also have a Toiletry 25, and this is in the Damien Ben. And that's what it looks like inside. Okay, so you're looking for a travel pouch for a vacation. Which one do I prefer and why? Okay, so I do like the Toiletry 25. I like how much space it has on the interior. It does have a little zippered pocket for a few other items in here. And I've had great success with this. I haven't had any issues when I have traveled with this. Now, I will have to say that the Truce, I really like that toiletry for 2 reasons. Number one, it's a little bit taller, it's a little bit wider, so you end up fitting a lot more items in there. And the best part about that toiletry is the fact that it does have the elastic detail on the inside. So that way, if you have liquid products that you want to make sure stay in the upright position, you can do that by putting them in the little elastic. Now, even though I do like this one, I have to make sure that I pack it to the brim in order for all the items to just kind of be together and not have any type of spill. If I have a few less items, if I end up just carrying just a few essentials, I run the risk that it'll actually end up, you know, kind of spilling over in this, because there's really nothing to kind of house it in, versus the Truce has those elastic details, as I mentioned earlier. So I really do like that. So you can end up carrying quite a bit more with you, or you can end up just carrying the essentials. And I will have to say that when it comes to the Toiletry 26, like I said, I don't know if this is one that you were talking about. I prefer to use the Toiletry 26 as a clutch because I feel it's too narrow. Again, this is just for size reference. I feel it's too narrow to use your toiletries in here because there's really not, I mean, you can't really fit that much in there without the zipper getting a little wonky. And when you start to put in the little bottles, you have to put them, you know, on top of each other because it's not very wide. So it's a little bit taller, yes, but you end up having to just kind of put them on top. And then if you have to get to the bottom one, you have to take everything out. It just seems a little bit fussier to use this particular item, for me, in my opinion, as a toiletry itself. So between the two, I think I'd have to say that I like the Truce a lot better, again, because of the details that it has. And plus, on the pre-loved market, you can find some killer deals. I have been thinking about getting one of those as well. But if you don't end up carrying too much with you and you don't have a lot of liquid products with you, then I would recommend this one, or maybe just use this as a makeup bag. But for me personally, I end up having to just, I try to fit as much as I can in here because I'm the type of person that when I travel, if I can bring my entire bathroom with me, I would. Because you never know. I've had times when I'm traveling and I get to my destination and I'm just like, oh, I forgot this or I forgot that. I don't know. Are you guys like that as well? But between the ones that I discussed, I would have to say that the Truce is the one that I really like, before I get off subject and start going on a different tangent. So hopefully that was able to help. All right, next question from Dan and Beatty. What weatherproof medium-sized bags do you recommend? I currently have a Mono Pochette Matisse, an Azure Croisette, and a GM Neverfull Damier Ben for work. I'm looking for a medium-sized bag that I don't have to worry about in regards to Vachetta. It doesn't have to be an LV bag. What are your suggestions? All right, so in the LV category, I know you said it doesn't have to be Louis Vuitton, but a medium-sized bag would be the Totally. And I really like the size of it. Plus it has a zippered closure, so it gives you a little bit more security. It has the double handles, and I know some people have said that they are a little bit more comfortable even though it is Damier Ben, so of course I would recommend Damier Ben. Another one is the Sienna, and I really like the Sienna because it's a lot more versatile. So you can use it as a hand carry bag, you can use it crossbody, and it does have quite a bit of space in there as well. And again, it's Damier Ben, and it also has the zippered closure. If you want to go outside of canvas but still stick with Louis Vuitton, I would go for the Montaigne. Again, it's a versatile bag. It's a medium size, especially if you went for the MM, or even if you went for the BB. It is a little bit smaller, but it still carries quite a bit in there. And Empreinte leather itself is very, it's very carefree. I know a lot of people end up using it, especially, people that end up having a lot of snow or a lot of rain. They end up using that bag because they don't have to worry about it as much. So it's an alternative to the Damier Ben if you're looking to go outside of the canvas details. Another brand that you can try that a lot of people rave about, and I will be honest, I've never really been crazy about it, but the more and more I see it, I'm a little bit more curious. It's not on the wish list yet, but Longchamp. So Longchamp, you don't have to worry about anything, the leather, the material whatsoever. So that's another one that you can use, and they have different sizes as well. What else? Let's see if I can think of a few more. Another one that's a medium-sized bag is the Yves Saint Laurent the collage bag, and it doesn't have it won't end up having the best structure over time because it's a little bit softer leather, but it's a medium-sized bag. It's kind of like the Pochette Métis. It has the same type of silhouette, the same type of structure, and of course the leather you don't have to worry about as much either. So I would say that any of those would be the ones that I would end up just kind of researching and see if any of them end up, you know, if you end up liking any of those and want to add those to your collection. So hopefully that was able to help. All right, next question from Kirsty Sarhos. Hopefully I said that correctly. Do you wear your Louis Vuitton denim shawl with LV canvas bags? I bought a beige monogram shawl, but I'm thinking of exchanging it to the black denim shawl. But as for now, I only have canvas bags, and I'm thinking if it's too much LV to wear them together, if you know what I mean. Great question, and I know exactly what you mean. Here I have the Louis Vuitton black denim shawl, so we have a little bit more eye candy. And to be honest, I've never really given it much thought until I read the question, because I use this thing to death. I really need to give it a rest. But I talked about it quite a bit on my Louis Vuitton All-Stars if you guys checked it out. And I think it's such a great shawl, and I've never, like I said, I've never really given it much thought as to the bags that I'm using it with, because I end up using it with Monogram, Damier Ben, Damier Azur. I think I even used it when I had my multicolor handbags. So I was all for it. I know some people might think it's tacky to wear so much LV, you know, especially if you have it from head to toe. I'm not one to judge. If you want to do that, then go for it, you know, but I don't think it looks bad. I don't think it looks tacky. Like I said, I never thought about it till now. And if anything, I just end up focusing more on the handbag that I'm wearing than what I'm pairing it with. I don't know. That's kind of weird. But yeah, I don't think it looks bad at all. And if it makes you happy, and if you like the noir denim shawl, then go for it. I think it'll be fine wearing them together. Those are just my 2 cents. All right, next question. Sandra Edwards and Esther Lee had similar ones. What are your thoughts on Dior bags? Worth the cost? When it comes to Dior bags, I have a newfound love for the fashion house, especially because last year I went into the boutique, I talked to the sales associate, I talked to the manager, and they gave me such great information. They gave me so much history on the fashion house that it made me appreciate it a lot more than I had in the past. And when it comes to, are they worth the cost? It depends, because if you like a handbag, like I've said before, regardless of resale value, regardless of anything else, when it comes to handbags, if it makes your heart sing, that's all that matters. If you like it, if you want to rock it, that's it. You know, it's whatever you like, that's what you should end up going for. But I feel that Dior bags don't end up holding their resale value as well as I think they should, especially for all the details that they incorporate into their handbags. All the beautiful, the hardware, or the jewelry as they like to call it, or their leather. So they don't hold their resale value as well as they should, as I mentioned. But I think that it's they have beautiful handbags, and I like them from afar. I haven't gone so far as to adding any of them to my wish list, but I definitely appreciate the fashion house a lot more than ever before. And on that same note, Stiletto CPA Style asked, since you like structured bags, would you ever get a Lady Dior? So kind of like what I said before, I think at one point I had the Lady Dior on my wish list. Not anymore. I'm just very apprehensive to add it to my collection because of the resale value. I don't like it enough to the point where I can just completely disregard the resale value on it. But if I was to get a Lady Dior, it would end up being on the pre-love market. And even though I'm attracted more so to the patent leather of it, because just patent leather makes any color look fabulous. But again, kind of like what I touched base on earlier with the whole vernis and just, you know, my experience with it, I think I'd probably end up going for a lambskin Lady Dior. So I do like the structure of it. I like the hardware that they have, but I would go the pre-love route just because, again, of the resale value, and you can get some amazing deals on the pre-love market when it comes to this bag. So that's what I would end up doing. So yes, Lady Dior sometime in the future would be fantastic. All right, next question from Penelope Brooks. What advice would you give your younger self? This is a great question. I think there'd be a few things. Number one, I'd have to say, don't worry so much about what people think about you. And I think that when I was younger, I think some of us, especially with a name like Minerva, that doesn't help. That doesn't help. I was so focused. I gave so much credit to what people were saying about me. I you know, whatever they would say about me, I would believe it, and I would just keep thinking about it over and over again, and it ended up taking away from being able to enjoy my youth. So that's one thing. Another thing that I would have to say is don't hold grudges. And I say that because I've said it before. If you guys are new to my channel, then you guys will be hearing it for the first time. But it's taken me a very long road to get to where I am, to get into the mentality, the state of mind that I have now. You know, when I was younger, I almost seemed like I was bitter. I was angry, and I ended up holding grudges. And when you end up holding grudges, you end up hurting yourself more than anything, because, at least I feel that way, because while that person that you're holding a grudge against, they're out there living their life. They're not even giving it a second thought as to what you're doing. And meanwhile, you know, you're sitting here harping on ill feelings, and it just ends up hurting you more and more. So I have grown up a lot. I have, you know, like I said, it was a tough road. I had to learn a lot about myself. And I love the state that I'm in now. I will never give credit to someone that tries to bring me down. I will never give credit to negativity. I am a very positive person. There are some aspects that sometimes the positivity doesn't kick in as quickly as I would like, but I like to see the good in things. I like to see the good in people, and you know, just in general, just enjoying life and enjoying the day-to-day, and not focusing so much on something that you can't fix, something that you can't change. And like I said before, I think the grudges thing, or just being angry for no reason, it's, you know, I'm happy that I realized what it was, and I changed it, and I am ecstatic with the way that I am now. I love my life now, you know, especially because I wake up happy, I go to sleep happy, and that's just that's just part of who I am, I guess. So that's the advice that I would give my younger self. Don't let anyone have that much power over you. There's only one person that can have that much power over you, and that's yourself. So yeah, it might be corny, but hey. All right, next question from Alejandro Arenas. I'm a guy and I really like the way Speedy bags look, particularly the 25 and the 30 in either Damier Ebene or the monogram print. My question, do you think I could pull it off being a not so feminine type of guy? What are your thoughts on men with what are essentially women's bags? I like it because of the style and the price point. None of the men's bags speak to me, and they're more expensive. I had the opportunity to see them in the boutique, but I was discouraged by how busy it was. I love this question, and I think that handbags in general are unisex. I mean, that's just how I feel. But I particularly like the way that the Speedy looks, especially when I see men wearing it, because it's such a simple design. It's such a great silhouette that it's not too busy. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, and I think that between the monogram print or the Damier Ebene, between those two, I feel that the Damier Ebene might be a little bit more masculine than the monogram, but it's all a matter of whatever makes your heart sing. And I know that actually I've had a few men tell me that they don't like the way that the men's bags looks because of the same reason. They either find them to be too busy, or they're just not, they don't have, you know, they don't have that oomph that they're looking for. And again, kind of like what I said before, the Speedy might be very simple, and it might be, you know, it's just, it doesn't have all these extras, but it's such a classic. It's such an iconic design that I think that it would be a fantastic silhouette. It'd be a fantastic bag for you to go for. So as far as the print goes, it's all a matter of what makes your heart sing, but I would go for it. Heck yeah. And again, you know my feelings on the hand carry, the 30. The classic 30, I think, looks fantastic. But if you're going for a crossbody and you want the bandolier, then I think that the 25 would be better. But it's all a matter of personal preference. Those are just my 2 cents. All right, next question from Carrie Ann. I enjoy seeing you vlog. Why isn't it something you do more often? I do get asked this question quite a bit, and When it comes to vlogging, you know, especially because I talked about this last year, I said that I was going to try to incorporate it more into my channel. It's something that I wanted to do, and I have since failed. I mean, I still vlog. You guys don't see them because they're total failures. But whenever I'm out and about, whether I'm with family or friends, I want to make sure that whoever I'm with has my undivided attention. I want to make sure that they, you know, kind of like what we talked about last week with the whole happy medium. I tend to get distracted when I'm out and about shopping, but for the most part, usually if I'm with Robert or if I'm with my mom or whether I'm with a friend, we end up, you know, discussing topics, and that kind of leads to other conversations. And I want to make sure that they have my undivided attention. I want to make sure that I enjoy the company that I'm with. And even though I would have the camera here, and I know it's not like I would vlog the entire time I'm out, but I do dedicate a lot of time to my channel, whether it's uploading videos or making videos, whether it's editing my videos. So when I'm out with company, I want to make sure that it's all about that the company that I'm with. So I don't know, it might be silly to some people, but I just want to make sure that I have that happy medium that we discussed earlier. But it's still something that I want to do, and I think that if I was to vlog in the future, I want to make sure that I do it when I'm by myself. That way I don't have to worry about sharing my time. I can just give my undivided attention to you guys, because the last thing that I want to do is have the camera here. I'm talking to this person, and trust me, even though the camera might be here, even though it might be weighing down my hand, I will completely forget about it because I'm so focused on that, and I don't think that's right. I want to make sure that you guys have my undivided attention when I'm talking to you. So I don't know. Like I said, it might be a little silly, but that's just kind of what goes on in my mind. Question from Meow Kitty Cat Eyes. I love your name. I was wondering if we could discuss the Chanel 2.55 reissue bag. I've been thinking about adding a Chanel bag to my collection for some time now, but no matter how beautiful the classic flaps are or how edgy the boy bags are, they are just too showy for my nature. The reissue seems so understated, but obviously luxurious when you know the Chanel line. The only thing that makes me wonder is the notorious resale value. Looking at the pre-loved market to see the trends, the Chanel reissue doesn't seem to hold its value as well as the classics line, though the reissue essentially is the bag that Coco designed and wore herself. The only thing that's making me of buying pre-loved rather than new. That's the only thing that's making me think of buying pre-loved rather than new, sorry. So yes, let's talk about the reissue. I have discussed it on a previous Minks Monday, but I do like the bag. There are a few different details of it that I appreciate about it. Number one, the leather. I like the distressed look that it has. I like the lock, and one of the things that one aspect that I really like about it the most is the detail of the chain, especially because even though personally I prefer the classic flap, what I like about the reissue is the chain detail and the fact that it doesn't have leather intertwined in the chain. It's just, I don't know, it kind of adds, you know, to the beauty of the bag in my opinion. But if I was to get a reissue, I would definitely 100% go the pre-loved route for the same reason. The fact that they don't end up holding their resale value at all. And it usually, you know, I end up going for the classic bags, right? I end up going for what someone said, the safe handbags, if you will. But the reason why I would go the pre-loved route is because if I was to get the reissue brand new, let's say that in 5 years time, it just isn't for me. Either I find it maybe, you know, not to my liking anymore, or it doesn't suit my lifestyle. If I was to resell it, then I wouldn't end up getting anywhere near what I ended up paying, even if it does increase in price. So if I went the pre-loved route, then I really don't have to worry about it that much. I can enjoy the bag, and then if I didn't want it in 5 years time, I can just sell it, and it won't be that big of a loss as far as the amount of money that I would be losing. So that's the main reason why I would go the pre-loved route. I think that they're great, especially like you said, if you don't want the boy bag, if you don't want the classic flap, if you want something a little bit different, but it still has that exquisite leather that Chanel is known for, then I would definitely go for the reissue. But on the pre-loved market, you can find some great deals as well, kind of like what I talked about before with the Louis Vuitton Almas. It's crazy. You can find some that are, even though they retail for like, you know, over $4,000, you can find them for $2,300, $2,000. I saw one one for $1,700 on a well-known consignment website. But yeah, in you know, kind of like what I said before, even though when it comes to handbags, it shouldn't matter about the resale value. All that matters is what the bag means to you and what you know, how you feel when you see that bag. But when I think of Chanel, I do think of quality and I do think of the look, but I also have to take into consideration the resale value of it because of the price point that the bag has. So again, it's all a matter of personal preference, and if it makes your heart sing, then go for it. But personally, for me, in the future, I would go for the pre-loved the pre-loved route for that same reason. So hopefully that was able to help. And the last one from Rachel Ramirez. Got a fun question. Think back senior year high school, 17 or 18 years old. What bag were you using? Oh man, that was forever ago. 17 or 18. I always wanted, when I was 17, I always wanted luxury handbags. Of course, I couldn't afford them. There was no way. All of my extra funds went towards college and getting books for the following semester. What bag was it? I think I had a Kenneth Cole or what was it? A Kenneth Cole or a Liz Claiborne bucket bag that I got, and I used that bag to death. I also had a Volcom Stone zebra fabric bag, and zebra because zebra was in when I mean it was a huge thing when I was younger, and it had like red trim, and I had the matching wallet. It was like the best thing ever, so I use that thing a lot as well. And what else? I think those are the main two bags that I used. I can't think of the other one. I know I had another one, but it was just, I think it was just a random black bag. Maybe it was like Rossetti. I can't remember, but yeah, I always wanted those luxury handbags. So those are the two bags that I remember the most from when I was 17. Yeah. And then, you know, as I went into 18 and 19, that's when the addiction just took off. Yeah. And it all started with Coach and Dooney and Burke for sure, especially because my dad bought me a Coach demi pouch that's hot pink. I still have it in my collection to this day, and that really just made it even more of an obsession. So it started way back when. All right, you guys. So that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will put links to the bags that I was discussing in the video that I didn't have pictures for in the description box below. That way you could just click on it and it'll take you exactly to the bag that I was talking about. Someone had suggested that on a previous Minks Monday, so thank you so much for that. But this week's lineup is going to be a little bit funky. Just because we are celebrating Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is tomorrow, so you know, Robert and I have some time together. So I probably won't see. I'll see you guys tomorrow, but it'll be pre-recorded. I'll probably do it today for tomorrow, and then I probably won't see you guys until Friday, if not Thursday. I'm not too sure, but you'll still see me 3 times this week. All right, you guys, so like I said before, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.